home free with the duck and an eagle shooting the breeze. From paintball fields to campfire fun, you know the rowdy talk's just begun. Now kick up your feet and pour a glass. We're about to have a blast. We're the rowdy ones. We're the rowdy ones. The rowdy ones.
You hitting it or am I?
That's all you.
All right. Well, tonight we're coming to you after our last event. Tough, brutal, and honest. Humility. It's all coming at you tonight. You know, we're definitely going to be coming back with more force, more anger, more spirit of the warrior. But yeah, we just owe it to y'all to sit down and talk to you about it, even though it sucks. So
yeah, not gonna lie, it was an awful weekend. Not too much enjoyable moments on the field, but outside of that, this is the hardest podcast episode I've had to film. You know, I just feel we failed as a team, failed as individuals. I failed, and it's a hard pill to swallow. It's humbling. It's frustrating. It's shocking. You know, I feel like I've been walking on eggshells since the event. Just like, you know, that feeling in your gut, just like that you did something wrong, and that's how it feels. It's not healthy because you got to figure out ways to get over that. And it's hard because, you know, we're a new team and everything, but we went into the event. I felt like we were prepared. Then we just let things go south, and it just goes to show you, not only in today's, you know, age with paintball and how competitive it is, but you just can't let things snowball. You can't let a little problem turn into a big problem, and you have to fix, you know, the foundational issues and not overcorrect, because if you do that, you'll start scrambling, and it'll lead to worse outcomes. And I think you saw that a lot. Like, and I look back at the event and been asked by, you know, so many different people, like, oh, what went wrong? What do you guys need to do to fix that? And the truth of the matter is, there's not one thing you can point to. You can't go this. And I think now, there's a couple days after, is the easiest time to really make excuses and pass blame and put it into other spots, because you can make yourself feel good and make yourself think that, hey, this is an easy solution. But digging out of these aren't easy, and they shouldn't be, because putting yourself in them was a direct result of your actions, and you have to make sure that you don't repeat those, and that you build stronger, and that you get growth off of the hard lessons that you learned during failure. And, you know, I look and as a whole, if I had to break down the tournament, I think, you know, it really went south. You know, that first day, we lost to X Factor and Russians, who, I mean, you can't say anything but at this point in time in the year, they're better teams than us, right? And I think from those losses, you know, it started with the X Factor one. We were almost playing the identical game to them as far as positioning and pacing at that time in that game. And, you know, they beat us in that. And, you know, now we're scrambling. We play the Russians. They go up early on us. You know, we start matching their tempo, being aggressive. But it's a completely different pace of a game and everything than what we played in the X Factor match. So now we have two losses at two different paces. And, you know, going into Sunday, what should be our easier games, we didn't overlook the teams, but we also knew that, you know, we had to win, and we had to win big. You know, we had to be scoring 6 points in these wins that have a chance of going on at 2-2. So I think we let you know, we got ahead of ourselves. We started thinking about the big picture instead of the individual points that needed to get won to get there. And because of that, you know, we overextended. You know, I won't speak for other players, but like I myself, you know, got shot early, sometimes trying to do too much, trying to get it all back at once. And the truth of the matter is now you have people playing individually on the team, and it doesn't matter how much talent you have if you're not playing together, if you're not if you don't have the same goals, and when I say goals, I don't mean the big goals like the winning and the this and that. I mean the same goals in a situation on a field on how to break it, the same understanding, the same that. And sometimes I think I take for granted, what one person might understand versus what another person might understand and how they look at things. And sometimes, you need to really hear that verbally, but you also have to see it visually on the field, and you have to build that trust with new teammates back and forth before you really know what you're trying to accomplish on the field. It doesn't matter how much you talk about something, how much hundreds of points you play leading up. It only matters in the instances that happen in those 4 15-minute periods in the prelims. And if you can't step up in those times, and if you can't be on the same page in those times, you'll fail, and you'll fail fast. And that's what happened to us. So when someone says like, oh, what's the thing that you need to do to fix it? Everything and nothing. It's not one thing. I can't say, oh, if this was different, we would have done better. But I can say that, we have to build our mental tenacity as a unit. We have to overcome challenges. We have to, when something, hard is put in front of us, we can't get down on ourselves. We have to look at how to fix it, how to be better individually, how to be better as a group, and move on from there. So I really think, high level sports with the best athletes in the game, it comes down to the mental preparation, the mental tenacity, the confidence that you have in yourself and the players around you and the coaches and everything in the situation, your equipment, your paint, everything, like your shoes are the right for the ground. Like you have to have full faith in everything, because as soon as you start thinking about little things, you lose focus of the only things that matter. And I think that's what happens. So I think it's a simple fix, because I think we have the talent to fix it. And I know what the problem was, but it's a complicated fix because it takes effort put in correctly. You can't just keep doing the same things and expecting different results. You have to really focus in and figure out what every individual needs to get the best out of them, and also how to use your time valuably. And all the guys are so upset about it, but we've also been in constant communication talking about how to make it better and what to fix. And none of the guys on the team are eating each other up, and that's a good first step, because we're still in unison and looking forward. And as long as we can now make these small minor adjustments and get a little bit of swagger back, we can turn it around fast. But like your daddy always said, you never hit rock bottom until you do, until you're on the way back up. And I believe, I guarantee that was, my rock bottom and our team's rock bottom. And now we're going to start the arduous, slow, difficult path upwards. That it's like that because it's rewarding, and and you reap the benefits of the sacrifices. So I'm ready for that journey, and I'm ready to, I don't really care what, people on the outside looking in have to say. They can't say anything that we haven't said to ourselves. No one's more frustrated in our results than ourselves. And it's not okay. And we'll do everything in our power to make sure that we never feel this way again, because, I feel awful and I don't like it.
No, you said it at the beginning. Not really looking forward to this podcast in the beginning. These are the hard things. I think this is the hard thing when having a podcast where we are just 100% open. It's we don't come to sugarcoat. I know you have been dealing with it. You and I have talked every day. I've been sleeping like crap. I've been just not in the best of mood. I mean, it's funny. I know I'm just a pit guy, but I carry y'all's weight on my shoulders just like y'all do. It's tough. And something I don't.
Well, it's also because you see people that you care about, hurting. and you're an empathetic guy, and you put in a ton of effort to help us succeed, and you don't have a final say of how it happens on the field, and you just want to see your friends succeed, and you want to be there to help us do it, and we can't thank you enough for that, and appreciate that, and it's the other thing. That's the other thing about failure is like, yeah, you let yourself down, but you let so many other people down. And not saying like we let you down, like you're thinking less of us, but like we did leave you, we let you down, and you did everything in your power to be there for us, and we didn't come through on our side of the promise.
Well, I don't think it's team.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a team. And so what happens to y'all happens to me. And I'll gladly pick up that cross and carry it daily. I mean, it's one of those deals. It's like this was just like I'll throw it into perspective. I was Saturday night. I'm a really good driver. I drive the speed limit. I have a CDL. I drive the speed limit, mind my P's and Q's. Like, I don't run lights or anything like that. It was me, Ronnie, and Mishka. We had to run to Walmart. And I was sitting, dead stop, stopped at a red light. And I'm just so out of it. The turn signal for the left lanes in our direction turned green, and I just drive out into the middle of the intersection. And I was like, oh shit. I made a right and got off the road out of the intersection. And I was just like, I was dumbfounded. But it's not like I'm like dumbfounded in y'all. It's like, what can I do different? Where could I have done something better? What could I have done?
Mhm.
I mean, it's just one of those deals, but when you can do that and you can really sit there and try and find blame in yourself, it's the right mindset you need for a team. It's what you need. It's what you want. You want those people that are like that you want those people there. And I know all of y'all are doing the same thing. You're like, what could I have done different? Where could I have gone wrong? Or where did it go wrong for me? And, the reality is, it's like, we just got the bad end of the stick, dude. I mean, everything kind of just felt like it snowballed a ton of pressure because now we're trying to make up points. And this is where I'm a firm believer. And I know you're going to counterpoint me on this. That's okay.
Maybe
I
not.
understand your perspective. No, you will, and it's fine. We've had this conversation, but I'll give it to the viewers. The reality is yeah, you might need to win 6 points you might need to get 6 points every match. And I know time is a thing. This is a game of time. I understand. But it's got to start with one. And I understand you need to understand the big picture, but the big picture doesn't have to be a pressure point. It's you got to start here to make it to there. And if your main objective is to not start here at the beginning and you're just trying to make it happen at the end, well, now the pressure's through the roof and you're not doing great. And that's the one thing I think I struggle with most. And I know it's timed and you have to pay attention to the clock. You have to make your moves, but you can't start if you don't start with one. And then after that, then it's two. And then after that, it's the third. And it's like, you've just got to get into it. And I know when you get into a high pressure situation, minds want to look at the end result and what you need to do and be there, but you'll never be there if you just don't start with that first one.
No, I agree. I
Go
agree with that. I fully agree with that. I think there's a happy medium between, taking 13 minutes, afraid to make a move, taking 13 out of 15 minutes off the clock and winning that point, and trying to win it in 10 seconds too. What I mean by like, to be aware of the clock in those situations, I mean like play normal paintball, play when someone, when an opportunity presents itself, take it,
Yeah.
create opportunities for yourselves, have good teamwork in those moments. And if you do that, you're playing paintball the right way, and you're going to get the point, and you're not going to kill a lot of time. What I hate seeing is when people go, "Oh, it's such a one," and then they, try to play so tepidly that you're killing clock for the no point, right? Say it's a,
Yeah. That's different.
say it's a 4-on-4, and no one moved for 6 minutes, and then someone made a move. That means that 6 minutes, like, did nothing happen. That was just a waste of time. That was just shrinking the game. And that's what I mean when I say, like,
I know.
you want to play fast. It's not like you have to win in 20 seconds. It's, if everyone is looking for opportunities, you'll win and you'll lose fast. And you have to be willing to take a gamble here or there. But you're absolutely right. Like, after our 2 losses, we got past that point and ended up on the bad side of it, where it's just like, now we're just all, playing super individually, not, countering things, not timing things right, not valuing our bodies as much as we should have, just trying to get down the field and kill, kill, kill. And then that ends up biting you just as bad as,
Mhm.
training 13 minutes off the clock bites you.
Yep.
And it, in some ways worse, because, the score can look worse, but
Yeah.
the results are the same. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
and I
sorry.
agree.
No-
I
no
agree.
pushback there. Just clarification.
Yeah. And no, and I totally agree, right? Like, you have to play with a purpose. It's not like you're up 5 and you're like, hey, let's just burn the clock off, get in these places and hold it down.
But even
That's
then,
not
you're
how
playing
you
with
do
a
it.
purpose,
Right.
So that the playing with a purpose is what matters. Knowing the situation, knowing, when chances are worth it, when they're not, knowing percentages, and, having a lot of variables running through your head, and then making the right decision. And I just think this weekend was just a lot of, bad decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is what it is. The past is in the past. The reality of this, where we are at now, is it's going to be, we're burning the ships and burning the bridges. It's like there's not an option at this point. It's and it's hard, right? Like, it's hard because you you got to go be methodical with whatever you're doing out there, because you got to make it, those moments, valuable. And you can't just reckless abandonment, but you also kind of need reckless abandonment. And it's a fine tiptoe line of, like, catastrophic failure or greatness. That's the reality, but the line is so thin, it's so hard to see. So it's just one of those deals. Everyone's got to come together. Everyone's got to take onus. Everyone's got to be there painting pictures with each other and not doing it for themselves.
And those small improvements lead to huge improvements across the board, right?
Massive.
Like a 5%, better success rate on your decision making across the board. Now your whole team's looking different,
Yes.
One other thing I'd like to touch on is, like, as a team, we've always been, we've rarely had to play a lot shorthanded. Now, we've been an extremely clean team, and didn't get many penalties. And, this year has been rough for that for us too. And that's lost us points and put us farther behind. And,
Mhm.
and I think but that's the same thing. It's people playing individually, people trying to do too much, people taking a little extra chance, an extra step here, and it doesn't pay off. And when you finally build that trust, because everyone's making better decisions, and you're making better decisions, and they're paying off, now that trust builds fully around you. Now people are taking less selfish risks like that, and then, those penalties disappear, and now you're even in better shape because you're not putting yourself behind the ball. So it's just like small changes can affect the whole picture a
Change
lot
the game.
faster than people realize. Why teams get stuck in, failure is, in my opinion, all comes down to mentality and ability, obviously. But the ability, if you ever were out of it, you have, right? So the
Yep.
mentality side of it is like problems like this can either like galvanize a unit of people to be solidified as one,
Yep.
or can fracture and fragment it, and then cause infighting and people looking in different ways, and really be the ultimate destroyer of a team.
Yep.
Now, a lot of teams will kind of just doggy paddle in purgatory instead
Yeah.
of like fully falling apart, and then become complacent and complacent in the results and okay with that. But there's no one on the team that's going to take it that way,
Right.
and it's, you know, it's fix it, or, you know, what's the point of it, right? Like, because fixing it's the only option.
Yeah.
And that's, what we're gonna do. It's now just a matter of, using this time wisely until our next opportunity to prove that. Because like I said, you can't only have these successes in your practices and think they're going to lead over to the event. You have to change the way you approach things. You have to change the way you think about things, and you have to um, do that on the same page as everyone else on the team who's buying in. And when you can do that, you can get out of these situations just as fast as you got into them, because you're not okay just treading water in there. You're not okay. Maybe next event you do a little better, then you do worse again, because you can't do much worse than we did here, but you can't look at it like that, because I'm not playing on a team with the quality of players and support that we get to battle, to be in the bottom half of teams. Like, I am here to help put this team back on the podium, and if this is what it takes to get there, instead of swimming in mediocrity, then I'm okay with it. Because I really think that we can use this as a learning experience, and as nothing else, motivation to never feel like this again, to never disappoint the people around us again. Like, it hurts personally when I think about it. Like, I hurt myself, but it hurts more like when I hear, my friends and my brothers on the team, their voices, and I can hear the pain in their voices, and the self-reflection, and that's caring. That's the sound of, giving every bit of yourself and your health and your energy into trying to fix it, because your body is, revolting against you. And that's, I take some solace in that, because I wouldn't be okay if anyone didn't feel like that. It hurts me that we all do, but if anyone didn't, that would be disappointing.
That's it, man. Like, it's a bender break moment, right? Like, it's one of the options, and one of the two, and you gotta just it's all got to be everyone together. Like you said, if everyone's making 5% better decisions, then guess what? That means that's 20% better decision making on the field at one time. There's collectively,
Depends statistically how you want to look at it, but
well, if each individual person's making, oh, sorry, my math is, I'm tired. I've been sleeping like dog crap, dude. I'm so exhausted. I think I've been getting like average like 3.5, 4 hours of sleep since. No, it's rough right now. But sorry, 5 times 5 is 25 people. I
couldn't help myself.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something, because I was like, I'm a fool. But yes, I can maths.
You were just trying that new school math.
Tried it, doesn't work. It's dumb. Kids don't fall for it. Go old school. But the reality is that can literally change the game. It can literally, the smallest things, times it by 5, and then it's amplified, right? We've went from small to huge just for making small individual adjustments. You know,
And it's
there's
amplified even more because it's like paintball comes down to such small margins in the first place, like a millimeter here or there. You're
yeah,
getting shot or bouncing someone or breaking on someone. But one kill at the right time on a side of the field really wins the whole point.
yeah,
Winning 1 point that you could have lost is a 2 point swing, and killing X percentage of time on the clock and putting you in a different situation going in, with more control over the next point instead of forced into playing a style. So everything can come down to this one little thing, a 1% change here,
yeah,
that can then carry itself into such better results, and then build the confidence that way. But you can't rely on luck fixing that for you. It
yeah,
can. Luck can do that, and luck can
yeah,
give people confidence, and then the confidence and the skill set can stay there. But that's like buying lottery tickets and scratching them off and thinking you're going to be a millionaire, right? Like
yeah,
you're buying it for the excitement of the scratching time. You're buying it to think about how you'd spend the money that you're not going to get. You can't rely on that, right? Well, what you can rely on is hard work and making the necessary changes and fixes and hard conversations to get people to understand each other and then to buy into something. And that can lead to the percent chances that stay. So now you're less affected by the luck, good or bad. When
yeah,
it's good, it helps. And when it's bad, you're still above where you were when you weren't in the right mindset for it.
yeah. It's and the thing is, it all starts with honesty with each individual. When you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with anybody else. That's life. I don't give a crap. Paintball, work,
And as
hobbies.
and as men, it's so easy to internalize things. And when it's like only something that affects you or that's on your mind and you want to fix it yourself, that's one thing. But when you're a part of a team, you have to be able to externalize uh, your downfalls and your problems and issues that you have, in order to come to some sort of reconciliation of it and then grow. But
Yeah,
when you're a team, uh, and you can internalize it to you can put your words around it the same way that your thoughts are, so that someone can understand you well. But you can't fully internalize it, because then that'll eat away at you and affect you, and people feel that too, and then you're never getting to the core issue that needed resolved.
yep,
Whether you were right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. But being honest with people that are your equals, uh, and that are here for the same goals as you, is of the utmost importance. Because if you do something good or you make me happy and I pleased with you, like I have to reward you by like letting you know that. But when I have an issue with you, I also have to verbalize that to your face,
mhm,
because you have to understand where I'm coming from and I have to understand where you're coming from, and we have to come to an agreement to move past that. And if you don't do that, what happens is people naturally will start talk behind people's backs. And if you do
mhm,
that, and if you're not willing to say the same thing to someone's face as you said behind their back, well, now you're creating cliques and infighting, and to me, that's just ways to pass the blame and your own disappointment, and that has to be avoided at all costs. And I think
yeah,
that's one thing that a lot of times people can, get sucked into without even realizing it.
yeah, 100%. That's, if that starts happening inside an organization, then it's a catastrophic failure at that point, because now you're creating division,
Mhm.
right? And division just leads nothing to be left but being conquered.
Yeah. So
And that's the only outcome.
And I know on, our team, everyone's taking a lot of accountability, and, we're having these hard conversations, and I think we're coming to better understand each other and how to move forward to be successful, and what needs to happen to accentuate our skill sets and our ideas, and how we're going to be the most copacetic together. And that excites me, right? Like, I'm still sad about the past, but I know that it's going to shape a better future, and I can live with that.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, right? Like, this is probably the crappiest you've ever felt after a tournament. I would maybe say, but
different crappiness. I felt bad after. You feel they're always just different bads.
Oh yeah,
but this is. I wouldn't say it, because I've been like way madder after tournaments. I've been way sadder, but I'm like just disgusted.
Yeah, no, and like this feeling is not a feeling.
It's the most disgusted I've been after a tournament.
It's fair, but it's a feeling that you and no one else on that team ever wants to feel again. So, with that being said, I think it's going to be onward and upward. We're looking at the situation and the problems head on. We're moving to correct them. We're moving with a, swift, precise actions to get going and create a forward momentum to never feel this again. And I think that's what's important. It's like, you going to bend a little, or you going to break? It's like, I sure would rather bend a little bit than ever break, because you can fix a bend. You can come back from it. You can get straightened out, sorted out, and just rocking and rolling and have more fire than anybody else that's, ever had before. I mean, these are the moments that of our trials and tribulations that are really going to make us who we are. And the next thing we have to show is how we answer that. And it is, I'm honestly going to feel bad for whoever's in front of you.
No, I mean, it doesn't even matter who. And
that's it.
I can't, and I'm not saying anything like that, because it's like, at this point, like, words are kind of meaningless. We have to show that on the field, and we have to put in the preparation to be able to. So it's if I was another team, I wouldn't be worried about us right now.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. You'll see it. But I also know, like you pointed out, words are cheap, actions are tough. But I also know that you and I come from the same pot. Is our word is our bond. So,
we'll be better. I promise you that.
Oh yeah. No option not to be, right? So we're gonna be. But you got anything else?
Before we sign off, for all of my coffee people, I'd like to give a shout out to Burlington Coffee Company. It's Cody Mikowski's coffee company, and it's all singularly sourced, roasted in house, and it's pretty fantastic stuff. So if anyone wants some, he doesn't sponsor us or anything, but I appreciate it. A good quality product, and it's delicious. And you can go to burlington.coffee, and he sells it online as well. And if you like coffee, it's worth the buy.
And what's cool, I want to chime in about it, because I just bought a dark and light roast. I got light for Natalie. What's really cool is he doesn't. Yeah, shout out Burlington Coffee. What I would like to say about what I think he takes a lot of pride in what he's doing is that, he's like, no, we're roasting it and then we're shipping it out. He takes such pride in having absolute fresh coffee to the max. Oh, yeah. It's not something that's been sat on a shelf. It's something that's being made.
You can taste it too.
Yeah. And something that he loves and he's putting his true heart and soul into. So, shout out to Cody and his family. I think I'm really excited to try it. I haven't tried it yet, but
Oh, you're gonna like it.
yeah, I'm a coffee snob, so I'm gonna be
Even when I don't drink it, I'll just nibble on the beans. I used to do that when I was a kid, walking through the grocery store, fiddle around with those little twist knobs and nibble on the beans. So I still nibble some coffee beans as a treat, and they're delicious, even like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But with that being said, shout out to Burlington Coffee Co. Go check it out if you want to support a paintball player that is growing in another industry. Go show some support. You know, I think it's a great thing. We're all family at the end of the day, so go check it out, try it out. He said his dark roast, just so everyone knows, his dark roast release, he said, hits more like a medium. So it's just good, bold, not overpowering. But so just with that being said, just so you know, because I'm not a dark roast guy, I'm a medium roast guy. And so he's like, oh, this is going to be right up your alley. So I'm really excited. With that being said,
yeah, this episode will be fun to look back on when, you know, we're successful this year, which I know we will be.
It'll be something to laugh at when we were standing on a podium. So that being said, everybody, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your support. Love you guys, and we will catch you in the next one.
Well, the whiskey's low and the story's all done, but we sure had ourselves some fun. From tall tales told to the last good pun, you've been rolling with the rowdy ones. Thanks for listening, y'all.